Hey guys, this is Eric, and welcome to phase 4 of the Oracle BI Apps install. During this phase, we're just going to be doing the configurations, and what that's really going to entail is we're going to deploy all the different applications to the WebLogic server. So that consists of the OBIA configuration manager, functional setup manager, the ODI Java agent, the ODI console, and the load plan generator. We're also going to set up a BI apps admin user, which has full access to the configuration manager and access to the ODI with the supervisor role. That's also created, and it'll be inside the WebLogic server embedded LDAP. And furthermore, if you're gonna do external authentication to your own OID or Active Directory, you're gonna have to go through a separate process. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, so the the ODI repository for BI apps is configured and to set to use external authentication as well. So what we're going to do, make sure that all your components are up and running. Start up your admin server, start up your node manager, your managed server, and then all your BI components, as you can see up here, all those are running. So make sure those are running, and then you're going to navigate to this directory, your middleware home, and then the Oracle BI1, and then into the bin directory. So we're going to start the configuration by running the config apps.shellscript.sh. And for those of you who stuck with 11.1191, this is gonna look a lot different than what I have here for 11.1192. So keep that in mind. It's a lot more involved, but anyways, for those of you who are running 11.1192, this is what you should be seeing. So here's specify the port for the admin server. Keep that. Keep the username. Next. All these should be fine. Okay, so it's asking us to select the components to configure as part of the installation process. And we're just going to select BI application components. Type in the RPD password. This is going to be a brand new password, so you can make it whatever you want, but I'm just going to make it welcome one just to make it easy. When you deploy a new RPD, you can make it whatever password you want. This is just default. So, and BI apps admin. So it wants you to enter a username for the BI apps admin. So you can pretty much make it whatever you want with a few exceptions. So the exceptions being administrator, admin, S-admin, or supervisor. In uppercase, lowercase, mixed letters, doesn't matter. Just don't make it anything that I just said. They're reserved somewhere. And another thing, don't use WebLogic server administrator. Don't use WebLogic. Yeah. So you should be okay as long as you don't use those. Just make it something unique. I'm just going to make it BI BI sys user, sys admin, I don't know. And just going to type in a password. Connect string to the database. Host name, colon, port, colon, service name. MDS schema username should be dev MDS. Wow, dyslexic today. Okay. Welcome one. Oh, too many colons. Again. think this is dev underscore BIA comp. Let me double check that real quick in my notes. Yep. All right. Next. And this one is, I believe this one's dev DW. Double check. Yep. And finally, your ODI repository. Whoops. All right. And I'm just going to select auto. And here we go. Before I start this, I will say, if it fails or if it gives you some issue, don't exit out of it, because if you do, if you don't resolve the issue while the wizard is going, you have to recreate that domain all over again. So that means you have to drop all the schemas that you created, that you ran with the RCU. So you're gonna have to rerun the RCU to recreate the schemas, and then furthermore, you have to check the database to ensure that they actually drop, because I've ran into a few bugs where it didn't actually drop. And then you have to go through the whole install again. So just FYI, I've done this too many times. So yep, we're gonna hit configure and hopefully nothing happens. Yeah, so I'll let you know if I get any errors or if this just goes on through, but this should take a while. So all right, so as you can see, this completed successfully. The first few times I tried this, I shouldn't say few, I should say at least 10 times. I ran into a ton of issues. So if you did, I think Oracle has a configuration troubleshooting guide. I don't know where it is. I think I've seen it before. It might have been internal for my company. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure Oracle has something like that out there. So look into that if you have issues, or you can just comment below and I'll try and help out. Anyways, we're going to hit next and finish. Okay, so next we have to install ODI Studio. So previously when we did the ODI install, actually I'll just open it up real quick. Sorry, let me clarify. So we actually don't have to install, or I don't have to install Studio, because I already installed Studio. We went through the ODI install. Those top two, there were two checkboxes at the top. One was ODI Studio and one was ODI SDK. I went ahead and installed ODI Studio because I'm just going to run it right off of the server. However, if you wanted to run it on a client machine, you're going to have to run the installer over again, and obviously you're going to have to run it on your client, not your host. So now we just got to configure user access for ODI Studio. So the ODI repository is configured for external authentication against WebLogic server embedded LDAP. That's what comes by default. So ODI Studio must be configured to use this appropriate security files for authentication. You must perform these steps on all installations of ODI Studio. In our case, we just have one, so we just do it once. However, if you're doing it on the client machine or your client installation, you're going to have to do it there as well. So we're going to navigate to the following directory. Let's see, it's where are we at right now? So we're going to want to go to the ODI home. So we're just going to go back to middleware home. And we see Oracle ODI 1. Right, and then we're going to go to actually no, let me back up. Let's go to the WebLogic domain. Go to domains, BI Foundation domain, and then there should be a directory in here called ODI client config. Yep, here it is. And this is embedded. Okay. So we see two files in here, the JPS config JSE and the C wallet. So we need to copy both of these files to the Oracle ODI home, and I'll show you the rest of the directory, but it's in the Oracle ODI home. So why don't we, what's going on here? No, we're just in BI. Back to middleware, and then back to where I told us to originally go. Alright, we're going to go to Oracle DI, and then client, and then ODI. There should be a bin directory. Go to bin. Okay, so looks like we have a JPS config XML template in here, ODI boot. Alright, so like I said, we're just going to copy those two files over here. So come back over here and do CP C wallet and just copy this. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for the JPS. Alright, let's check over here and make sure that they copied correctly. Alright, so we see they're both in here. Okay, so next we're going to have to update the JPS configuration file name. So we're going to go back to Oracle ODI home. Which one of those was this? Maybe here? Yep. So we're going to have to open up odi.conf and let's see. I'm looking for, oh wait, it's down here. Yeah. So this is the existing one. We're just going to update this to JPS config JSE .xml. Yeah, that should be it. Yep, that's it. All right. Excuse me. So, right quit that file, and we should be good to go. So yeah, that's really the end of it. Make sure that you can log in and everything, and you should be ready to go. There are some additional steps if you're doing external authentication and all that. That wasn't really the point of this tutorial. This is just to get the base install down. The documentation is actually pretty good, but there are some things where I was scratching my head for a while, and I had to figure out on my own because it just flat out wasn't correct. So again, if you guys have any questions, I've done this too many times, so I'd love to help you guys out. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and hope it helped out.